Ant-Man is the 12th installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stars Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas. Rudd plays Scott Lang, a thief that just got out of jail and is taken under the wing by Dr. Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas, to become the next Ant-Man. It's no secret that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been a well-oiled machine for years now, but after seeing Avengers Age of Ultron, I got scared that they were gonna fall into the same pattern. But Ant-Man feels like a refreshing change of pace in the MCU. It definitely has its flaws, but overall it's a very enjoyable movie. My favorite aspect of this movie is the character of Scott Lang because he's the everyman. He's so relatable. Tony Stark is a genius billionaire and Thor is a Norse god. I can't relate to those guys. I can relate to the character of Scott Lang. He's a normal guy. He reacts the same way any actual person would react if they were given these powers, kind of like Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past. And what made Paul Rudd so great in this movie is the fact that he was able to be funny when the film called for it, but also serious when he needed to be. However, the only person to do a better job than Paul Rudd was, of course, Michael Douglas as Dr. Hank Pym. The man brings his A-game, folks, something he has not brought for a while, although I will admit that Las Vegas is a guilty pleasure movie of mine. The more you know. Douglas elevated this movie to another level. He really made the character of Hank Pym his own with his gravitas. Isn't gravitas just a fun word to say? I think it is. Evangeline Lilly does a serviceable job as Hope Van Dyne, but I really did enjoy her dynamic with Michael Douglas. It made for a really well-developed father-daughter relationship. When it comes to side characters, I know a lot of people have been raving about Michael Pena in this movie, and he's okay. Pena has fantastic comedic timing, but I felt like a lot of times in this movie he was hit and miss for me. And usually I'm not a big fan of rappers acting in movies like ever, but damn it, T.I., you were good in this movie. But at the end of the day, we're all wondering, how are the visual effects in Ant-Man? The visual effects, in my opinion, are fantastic. When Paul Rudd shrinks down, you really see the hyper-realism of his environment. I then read that this movie had a macro photography team, which means they had cameras really close up to all the environments for all these shrunk down scenes. They weren't computer generated, they were real. I thought that was a really cool footnote to add, and the macro photography team really did pay off because all the shrunken down settings felt real. You pair those great visual effects with amazing action sequences that are really creative, and they really do make the most of the idea of shrinking down and then becoming big again, then shrinking down again. That combination of visual effects and the action sequences is what really makes this film unique. However, no movie is perfect, so let's get to the negatives. This movie suffers from the fact that it's a clash between two styles of Peyton Reed and Edgar Wright. Granted, Peyton Reed does add his own style to the movie, and I will commend that, but you still feel the presence of Edgar Wright, which made the movie a little bit awkward at times. And besides from that, the first 20 minutes of this movie are a tad forgettable. It's when Paul Rudd shrinks down for the first time that this movie really picks up. But you have to schlep through the first 20 minutes of this movie before you get to the good stuff. And look, Corey Stoll is great in this movie. He has to play crazy, which is not easy to do, but he pulls it off, but damn, is this a poorly written villain. You have this intriguing idea for the villain where the Pym particles make him go crazy, but we don't see that progression. He just starts off as crazy. Had we seen him slowly transform into crazy, it would have made for a better developed villain, but no, we're stuck with this. So in the end, Ant-Man is wildly creative and unique. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's well acted with amazing action sequences and visual effects. And I have a newfound appreciation for ants. But the fact that Edgar Wright did depart from the movie did leave a toll on Ant-Man. And you have a really poorly written villain in Yellow Jacket that may be less invested in the climax of the film because of how weak the villain is. However, I am still a big fan of Ant-Man, and I do recommend you go see it. I will give it 3.8 out of 5 reels. And might I just add that this movie has the best product placement I have ever seen when it comes to a certain ice cream company. What did you guys think of Ant-Man? Make sure to comment below, hit that subscribe button, hit me up on Twitter at my website, brendanhasablog.wordpress.com. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, I'm Brendan Weissman. Peace!